Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm putting together my project life spread for February 23rd through March 1st, 2026, and I'm working with the Inklings Collection from Cocoa Daisy. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so this was the last week of February and it was the second week after we got back from vacation. And I was still super stressed. So I was pretty jet lagged from vacation. I was kind of getting back on routine this week, but I was still pretty exhausted. And then work was super stressful and very much in a busy season at work and just life in general. So, yeah, it was a kind of a rough week. It was a rough week at work, a rough week just adjusting stuff. So when I have rougher times where I'm tired and busy and stressed, I take less photos. So I really struggled to have enough photos to fill this spread. You can see I really don't have that many. But I did get a few things, and some of them were these. I started the 100-day project, which I quickly bailed on because I just knew it was not the right season for me to do that and take on another project. But I do have a couple of photos from that, and so I'm going to document that in this spread. So I'm using the Inklings Collection from Cocoa Daisy, which was for February 2026. And this is probably my favorite Cocoa Daisy collection ever. It's very crafty themed. So cute. I already used it for one project life spread, and I will link that one in the description box below. But I wanted to use it again because the first one that I did it was for, I think it was in January. So there are some things in here that are February specific. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to use some of those. And then there are just like a lot of these stories, like these sentiments and things work for what I had going on at this point in time. So like here's a February checklist. I will use that one. Hello February. Just wanting to use sometimes, or some of these cute products. Oh, that one's adorable too. And there's so many things. Okay, so many cute pieces. I think that I need some 4x6 also. And then I need to think of what stories I have for this week. So I have my take a note here. Let me just slide this up a little. And if you are new here, I use my take a note to document kind of what is going on. Not totally in real time, but pretty close to real time. So I did this kind of in the week. And in fact, I even have a photo of this spread here because I shared that on Instagram. And like I said, I don't have a ton of photos from this week. So I pretty much printed every photo I took. And this one needs to be trimmed a little bit more, which is fine because it just gets some of these photos that I take more like just for Instagram end up in my spreads when that happens. So let's see, this week, again, like I said, it was a super stressful week and it was a very hard work week. I was not ready for it. And then I had to take a civil service test on Saturday. So work was really busy. Let's see, I finished a book, just a lot of relaxing at home when I wasn't at work. I was doing yoga, relaxing by playing my Switch. Let's see, we went to Trader Joe's, taking the civil service test, and then just lounging around the house, doing groceries and chores. Yeah, so not really that much. So I don't necessarily have a lot of stories. I think I'm just going to put like a bullet point list of like micro stories from the week there. And then I need to document the civil service test. I will probably document my 100-day project, and even the fact that I ended up bailing on it. And then some of these cards are just so pretty. Like I'm obsessed with this one, but I also kind of don't really want to use it as a filler here because it doesn't really go with my story. I might use this one and document the 100-day project on there. And then this just needs a pattern behind it. So let me just pull over the papers I have. Oh, there was another card here. I mean, I guess I could use this one to document the civil service test. I know that might be too much of those. Let's see. Maybe one of these would work. We've got this one, which is really pretty, but I don't think works very well in pocket pages, but the other side is just plain blue. Well, not plain blue, but a blue pattern. And then I really love this one. I think I used the other one of those and the other one of these. I love this pattern. It might be too busy. I think I'm gonna use this blue because it makes it less busy, because this kit is adorable, but some of these things are just a little bit busy together. So I need to kind of figure out what I want to include without it being too much. So then let's see, we've got Pumpkin's litter box, which was new. So he got an automatic litter box, and I set it up on the Sunday before. So I think I had a photo of that in my last week's spread. But this is after a few days. So when you first get an automatic litter box, you don't let the cats see the litter box cleaning so that they won't be scared of it. But I thought it was time to show him. And so he watched and he was very interested. So that is a cute photo of him watching that. And then I also kind of so I have a lot of filler cards here, but I love this kit, and using extra filler cards is totally fine for me right now. I also like this one for the 100-day project, but I think I'm gonna put it on there. And then here I had a couple other journaling card options here, but I think this one I'm gonna do civil service test. I don't know that I want these two next to each other though, because I think that those are gonna be similar. I'm gonna do some stamping or something like that. So I think I'll put this one in the middle and then maybe put this here. I don't want the two whites together. There we go. Okay, so I think that's a good starting point. And there's so many just adorable elements in this kit. I kind of want to just use some of these. February in pictures. And then we have all of these die cuts. And there's so many cute journaling ones, and this washi. I could put a tag. I might put a tag on there of what I really need right now. I kind of like that. Some of these are just so cute. I kind of want to hoard them, but I really shouldn't. So we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on voiceover and then start getting this one put together. I anticipate this being pretty quick and easy. I have a lot of other projects I want to do. I kind of want to catch up on this. And this kit is just so gorgeous. There's just really not that much I need to do, but I probably will want to put some sort of treatment on some of my photos. And yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so I had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said in the intro, I really loved this collection, and that's why I'm using it twice in Project Life. After I finished this video, I did take all of the rest of the products from this collection and merge them into my stash, mostly because I needed the tray because I have so many kits now. This one was from February, and the Cocoa Daisy kits release early, and then I get them even earlier. So I have kits all the way up through May in my trays right now from Cocoa Daisy, so I just needed to get this one moved into my stash, but I'm going to be happy to use some of these products in future spreads. Most likely they will be mixed in with other things in a stash busting video in the future. So now I'm working on this bullet point list, and I'm just kind of writing down things. I'm looking at my take a note off camera and just making note of certain things from this week, just little things that happened. Like I said, there wasn't a lot going on. There was our civil service exam, and then we did do a day of kind of chores and errands on Sunday, which was very needed, even though I was super exhausted and it was not a very restful weekend because it was so busy. But there was just a lot that was piling up that needed to get done around the house. I'm sure a lot of you can relate with the competing, needing rest, but also needing to get things done and having very limited time. So I'm flipping through the stickers that I have in my collection. So from Cocoa Daisy, I get a collection of kits. Some of them, or one of them, is the scrapbooking kit. So there's products in here specifically designed for scrapbooking. But I also get the stationery kit and the classic cousin sticker kit. And both of those are more geared towards journaling or planning. I use my products in both, and I use them in scrapbooks. I use them in journals. I use them in my planner. And I don't really distinguish. So I keep all of the supplies from Cocoa Daisy together from this collection, whether or not it is intended for scrapbooking. So when I'm working on this spread, I am pulling from supplies that sometimes weren't actually intended for scrapbooking, but they work really well. So if you're unsure what kits you want or unsure how to use them, most of the kits do work really well in scrapbooks, even if they're not specifically designed for that. The main difference I see in the ones for planning and journaling as opposed to the scrapbook ones is that they're flatter. So all of the embellishments are very flat, because in a journal, it's very hard to use dimensional embellishments like a chipboard piece, because you won't be able to write on the next page at all, or really ever again in that notebook if there's a thick chipboard piece in there. So that's something to keep in mind depending on whether or not you like dimensional embellishments. I decided to do some large stamping because my journaling here is on these two large 4x6 cards. And like I said, I didn't have a ton to write, but I needed to fill the space. And because I didn't have a lot of photos, my journaling was kind of pushed onto the 4x6 cards. And I made it work both by including cards or selecting cards from the kit that had a lot of picture on them, so I didn't have to fill the full 4x6 card, and also using this large stamping as a way to fill up a large portion of the card. I'm using one of the Alphas Are Awesome stamp sets from Ali Edwards, and there's a coordinating number set. This year they're doing Numbers Are Awesome, which has the coordinated numbers on a 4x6. The one complaint I have about this is that they don't necessarily use the same size. So you can see the number set that I'm using is the same font as the Alpha set I'm using, but they are much larger. And I think it works for this title, but it is something that does bother me in some places and makes it hard for me to use. But for this card, I thought it actually looked really good that the 100 was much bigger than the words day and project. I'm just journaling about my 100-day project, what I started, that I bailed on it, what I was hoping to accomplish, and why it wasn't the right time. And I felt like that card was just perfect for it because it has watercolors on the picture on the card, and that's exactly what my 100-day project was. I also have this photo of my 100-day project, and I decided to embellish it by adding a kind of like ink blot sticker from the Classic Cousin sticker kit and one of the chipboard shapes from the scrapbooking kit to layer on top of it. I have two photos in the spread of my 100-day project because I was taking those photos to share on Instagram at the time. And like I said, I didn't take very many photos this week. And that was something that helped me kind of fill the pockets, was having those ones that I took for Instagram. So if you struggle to get photos, sometimes maybe think about taking photos that you took, not necessarily for your own photo collection, but something to share on Instagram, or a screenshot of something you wanted to remember. And if you don't have any photos, I could have gone back and retroactively just taken photos of the things that I sewed during this week, just to have that to fill the pocket. For this card about the civil service exam, I did my journaling, and there wasn't really anything else I had to say to get to the bottom of the card, so I decided to add a few things. I added a couple of stickers at the bottom just to kind of fill in that bottom space and make it look intentional that I didn't fill the entire card. The Classic Cousin sticker kit comes with this sheet every month that has some word phrase strips on it, and you guys know I'm obsessed with word phrase strips. I use them all of the time, and I have used more than half of the ones from this collection already. So I added that on there. And then this set also had some smaller word phrases that did not have a background color. So I thought that would look really cute together, and I'm super happy with how that came together. I have just this photo here that I took of my pencils and my journal, getting ready for the civil service exams. Again, something I took for Instagram. I also, towards the end of the week, I think I realized I hadn't really taken any photos, and that was on Saturday morning. So I think I intentionally took that photo knowing I was going to need more photos. And then I'm moving on to this one here. I took a photo of my desk. This one was actually for a YouTube video to have as an insert in a YouTube video. And then I'm adding on some washi tape, and I'm going to layer this die cut piece on top of here. The die cuts from Cocoa Daisy are stickers, so I just had to peel the backing off, and then that fit perfectly right on top of there. And I liked that kind of like green on green to keep this card less busy. And I just added a little bit of busyness with that decorative washi tape behind it, because I didn't want this card to be too colorful, given that all of the other cards on this side of the page are super colorful. This kit is very gorgeous, but it is very busy and colorful and bright. So having a lot of filler cards from it is a little bit of a struggle, and something that I'm working with here, just because I don't have that many photos or stories to tell from this week. I added on a little label sticker and another word phrase strip just to add a little bit of context to that photo. And I'm slipping everything in the pockets and calling that right-hand side done. Now I'm moving on to the left, and I had done those top 3 pockets, and I'm going to go ahead and slip those into the pockets. And I had added a chipboard piece onto the photo of Pumpkin with his litter box, but the rest of it, I wasn't sure what to do, or I also added labels onto that photo, because I have 3 filler cards right here, and 3 filler cards is just, it's too much to have right next to each other. And some people like that, and it might work for you, but that's just too much for me. I wanted something else, and I realized I didn't really tell the story of Sunday, which wasn't anything special. We just ran errands and we did some chores around the house, but I thought it would be a good story just to kind of fill in the pocket and remember kind of where my time went during that weekend. So I'm using the sticky note pad that came in the stationery kit to create my own journaling card. Every month I get the stationery kit from Cocoa Daisy, and it comes with a sticky note pad. And I absolutely love those. I love having, the huge stack of so many different pages that match, because there's never any feeling that I need to hold on to them. I can just use them over and over again. And I like to use them in scrapbooking, in my journal. I think I recently used one, not from this kit, but from the May kit in my journal, and shared that over on Instagram. And it's a great way to kind of break up your journal page and kind of highlight one story to prevent the page from just getting too busy, or help you with just the formatting. For Project Life, they're really great to create your own journal cards. And what I could have done for a totally separate look to this spread is use that same sticky note on multiple cards to tell multiple stories and have that uniformity across the spread, and just put it on top of patterned paper or scraps from my stash, anything. Here I put it on this blue journaling card because even though I liked the card, I was okay letting it go and not needing to use it as originally intended with the sentiment. And I liked that the color was different from everything else. It was only one color. Here's a look at that completed spread. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.